Hey guys! So I have a new shawl pattern coming out Friday, June 8th, and it is the Billowing shawl that I'm wearing right now. And I'll insert some pictures here so you can get a better look at it. But this is a new shawl design that uses two skeins of yarn. So I used Manos Del Uruguay and their Alegria base in the colors Nobuk and Foil. So that is what you're seeing in these pictures. But I also just wanted to kind of give you some tips or suggestions on how to choose yarn for this shawl. So this is what it looks like. It's got striping and some color blocking using short rows and then lace and things like that. I'm actually showing it to you on the wrong side. So this is more of what it should look like. So I chose two colors that kind of go well together. So the Nobuk colorway is a purple that has flecks of gray in it, and then Foil is just gray. So there's a couple notes I want to make about this specific color choice, although I do really love the way that this came out. But because the Nobuk colorway has gray in it, and then pairing it with a gray of the same shade, there are places where the gray within the purple kind of pools. It pools in like a really small spot, but it makes the small bits of striping kind of harder to see. So I'll try and show this to you. So this is supposed to be just a couple garter ridges in the foil or the gray colorway. And then it's got purple or the Nobuk colorway all around it. And it's not super easy to see. In places it is, but in other places the foil and the Nobuk kind of blend together. Now this doesn't bother me, but I did want to make note of that because I know that quite a few of you said that you wanted to get the exact same colorways. So I recommend it. I love these colors together, but just so you know, it can make the striping a little bit more blended and less contrasting, if that makes sense. So, about this shawl. This requires 880 yards total, so that's 440 yards per color. And it's written with two colors in mind, but you could definitely do as many as you want. I would suggest doing at least two, because if you do just one, there are certain techniques, like the short rows are only used to kind of create a cool color look. They're not used to shape, really. I shaped it in other ways. So the short rows are there more as just kind of a stylistic, just a cool way of showing off the colors, I guess. So the techniques you need to know, there's a garter tab cast on, make one right, make one left, and for those three techniques I am making video tutorials today, so they'll be out with the pattern tomorrow if you don't know how to do any of those. They're pretty easy. I wouldn't be intimidated by it. Maybe just a little bit of practice and you'll have it down. And then there are wrap and turn short rows, and then there's some basic lace. So you've got this lace down here, which is really simple. It's just a 2-stitch repeat, so you don't really have to like count stitches. It's very simple. And then you have this kind of rippled lace down here, and that is also, I think, pretty easy. What I did is, I don't remember exactly how many stitches it is. It's something like 13 stitches per little grouping. So I just put stitch markers in between each repeat, and it made it a lot easier. You certainly don't have to, but that is just how I like to do it when counting is involved. It's my tip to make it a little bit easier. But other than that, it's very simple. There's a little bit of color changing. You do a little bit of striping. And I carried my yarn up the side because I think it's easier than having to weave in all the ends. And I think that's mainly it. It's a very easy knit. If you know how to do short rows or you're willing to try short rows, there are a bunch of really great tutorials that I'll link to for the wrap and turns. I think wrap and turns are so easy. If you've never done them before, this is a great project to try them on. It's a pretty quick knit too. This took me just a couple days to knit, and I had test knitters who were done within a week, and the deadline was longer, so they just were flying through it. So I just picked a few yarn companies and looked at their colorways and put together some color combos that I think would be really good. But it's a little bit hard to tell online. Sometimes you can look at something online and then get it in person and it looks a little bit different. So I used my best judgment. I have not tried all these colorways, so I can't tell you what they look like in person. But going to their website, I thought these would make good pairs. And I'm a very neutral earth tones kind of person, so these are not very adventurous color combos, but they just kind of give you an idea of what I think works well together. Okay, so first I picked from Manos Del Uruguay, and I used the same yarn base that was used to make this. So this is their Alegria base. And again, these are the notebook and foil colorways. So I picked 4 more combos that I thought would be good together. So first up is Celery and Reindeer. So this is my love for earth tones showing through, but celery is just kind of a celery green. And then reindeer is just kind of a brown. And they're both pretty solid. And I think that they would look good together. I'm just such a sucker for earth tones. So green and a brown I think would go really well together. Then my other choice was Leo and Musgo. I think this is a pretty fall colorway. So Leo is kind of a burnt orange and Musgo is a green. So I don't know, I love that kind of combo of like a pumpkin-y fall harvest colorway. So I think those would go really well together. But again, you might have totally different preferences than me. And the next one, so this combo is a little bit lighter and more, I don't know, springy, I guess. So Natural and Stratus. Natural is of course just a natural color, and Stratus is kind of a bright blue sky colorway. And I feel like this fits with the name of the shawl really well. So I named it Billowing, as in like billowing clouds, because I love the ripples at the bottom, and that's what it reminds me of, because here, I'll show you. Because the contrasting color next to the lace kind of ripples as well, it creates this like, I don't know, this just like billowing effect in my mind, and that's what it reminds me of. And these two colors together kind of embody that as well. You've got the blue sky as Stratus, and the natural is kind of the clouds. Color B, which would be the billowing clouds, I think would be really cool as the natural color, and then color A, which would be the Stratus or the blue. And then you've just got these billowing clouds on a blue sky. I might have to make that as my next one because I really like those colors together. I like picking a solid color and then picking a neutral to go with it. So the blue and then the cream, or the natural. And the last one from them is the Sand and Oxblood colorway combo. So this is just another example of what I was talking about, where you pick a color and then you pick a neutral. So Oxblood is like a deep winey red, I guess. And then Sand is just kind of like a tonal, kind of looks like a tonal dusty rose. So I think those kind of seem like they would go well together. Now, I get the feeling that Oxblood might not look the same online as it does in person. So if you have a local yarn shop that sells Alegria, you might want to go see if you can find these together and pair them up, because again, things can look different online than they do in person. So this is just a general idea. Please don't get mad at me if they look different in person and they aren't amazing combos, because I'm just guessing. This is just my opinion and they're guesses for me. And you know I had to include some from Hello Stella. So she sent me actually some hand-picked color combos that she thought would go well with it. So I'm just reading these off my phone. I will insert pictures so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. She said that Ramble On and Anything for Love would be a great combo. And she actually said that Ramble On would go with Anything for Love, Lavender Latte, Sleepy Hollow, or Bohemia. So that one can go with any of them. And then she said Plie and Poppy would be a good pick. So she says Charcoal Pit and Sleepy Hollow, or Pearl Gray and Charcoal Pit, and go all grays. And I actually have, I think I have Pearl Gray. Yep. This is Pearl Gray. The lighting in here is not fantastic, but this is Pearl Gray. So those two would go really well together. And that's more of a neutral tone, she said, so if you like grays, those would go really well together. And then Shell Cottage and November Rain would go really well together, or Shell Cottage and Lavender Latte. And I actually have Shell Cottage and November Rain in my other room, so I'll go get those. So this is Shell Cottage and November Rain, and I totally agree that these would go really well together. So it's more like a purple kind of pastel-y kind of combo, but these would be great. These go really well together. This might be my pick. I really, really like these. These are more new colors from her. And yeah, so I will have all of these combos written on my blog, and I'll also have them in the description bar below. I'll have the names of the combos in the description bar. And another shop that I checked out is Ottoman Indigo. I will be honest, I've never used her yarn before. It's on my list. I have been wanting to try her yarn for months, so I'm definitely going to try it this summer. But I took a look at her colorways and put together some combos that I thought would be great. Let's start out with Legion and Willow. Yeah, Willow is like a kind of a minty green colorway, and then Legion looks, online it looks like they're about the same. So Legion is like a natural with specks of blue and teal and that minty green. It looks like the same green. You might want to check with her before you buy that yarn. They look like they would blend together, but again, it's hard to tell online, so you might want to double check with her before buying it. But I think it would be really cool to have a solid and then to use a speckled yarn. One of my test knitters did that, and I think it looked really beautiful. These are the same color family because it'll have an overall looking kind of cool bluish teal feel to it, but you still get a little bit of a contrast. And then Canopy and Loma. So Loma is like a dirty mustard color, and Canopy is kind of a grungy green. And it kind of looks like a grungy green gray, maybe? I love mustard and green together, so it just seemed like a good combo to me. It gives it kind of a, if you're not into bright colors but you want color, then using a more like dingy looking color kind of takes the edge off, but you still get to show it off, if that makes sense. It's not super bright, but you still get to wear color. And then the last one, which I'm going to butcher the names of, so it's Azores, which I know I'm not saying that right, too American, and Cowchan. I know I'm not saying it right, you guys, I'm sorry. So this is kind of the same style as the first combo I showed from her shop. So Cowchan is kind of a, I don't know if I'd call this a tonal or speckled. It's kind of like, I should know these terms by now, but it's kind of like a solid color with dark speckles. Does that make sense? I mean, you'll see it on the screen. It's a green with these speckles of blue and other tones of green. And then Azores is kind of a yellowy cream base with speckles of green. And they look like the same greens. If you like that color combo, you might want to reach out to her and ask if they would actually go well together. And then the other shop that I chose to look at is Woolberry Fiber Co. So I'm just about to start using her yarn for the first time, and it's amazing. I am in love with all her colorways too. Oh, every time she has a shop update, I'm so tempted to spend all my money. But the first combo I liked was All Is Calm and Bouquet. So All Is Calm is this really rich dark blue, and Bouquet is this light pink. And if you like a high contrast, I think those would work well together because it's a really dark blue and a really light pink, and it would create this really contrasting fabric. So if you're into that, that is a good option. And then Bouquet and Box of Chocolates. So Box of Chocolates is kind of like this brownish red. So and then like a maroonish color. And then Bouquet, which is the same as the last one, is a dusty pink. So these are closer, they're in the same, color family. It would give you less contrast than the last combo, but it would still give you a good amount of contrast, but keeping it in the same color family. So overall it would have like a pinky feel. And then the last one is Chasing Clouds and Pressed Flowers. So Pressed Flowers is amazing. I am obsessed with that colorway. It's on my list to buy because it's just so gorgeous. So I think that it would be a good pair with Chasing Clouds. And of course, anything with clouds in the name in reference to my Billowing shawl is just seems like a good match. I think they would look good together. Chasing Clouds is kind of a tonal blue, so it's blue with little bits of light blue in it. And then Pressed Flowers is like a mauvey, bluish green kind of colorway. So overall it looks like it's pretty much a mauve colorway with speckles of blue, green, and kind of almost a dirty yellow. And the blues look similar. You might want to double check with Bethany before you buy it, but I think that they would work well together. That's pretty much it. I just put together some color combos I thought looked really good from some companies I like. So you don't have to use any of those color combos. They're just kind of suggestions to give you an idea and just kind of to inspire you. Maybe you like a couple of the color combos, but you want to check your local yarn shop first and see if you can find something similar to it. Go for it. Go to your local yarn shop and put colors together and see what you can come up with. You can get very creative with this. It does not have to be just a 2-color shawl. You could use as many as you want. You could go into your stash and find stuff that goes together. This is it. I absolutely love it. I'm obsessed. Maybe I should have worn this the whole time. It comes out Friday, June 8th at about 5 p.m. I'm thinking. And I'm just really, really excited for you guys to make it your own. I love how excited you've been. It makes me so happy. I'm overflowing with happiness from all of your comments and your kind messages. And I cannot wait to see the color combos that you guys put together. So thank you for supporting me. It means the world. You guys are amazing, and I'm very, very grateful for you. I'll see you guys in the next video, probably the next podcast coming out on Tuesday. See you guys later.